What's good, fam? Drake is literally running for his life from the biggest stage on the planet because he knows that not like us, Shadow is towering over his whole career. We just watched Super Bowl 60 wrap up at Levi's Stadium, and while the entire world was locked into the game, the sixth god was busy hiding in his mansion. Reports from February 8th and 9 confirmed that Drake officially declined a massive invitation from the headliner, Bad Bunny, to perform as a special guest. Imagine being so rattled by a diss track from a year ago that you actually say no to the most watched television event in history. Sources close to the situation say he wanted to avoid the noise from the Kendrick Lamar feud. He clearly knew the crowd would start chanting, "They not like us," the second he touched that mic. It is a wild time to be a Drake fan when your favorite artist is ducking the spotlight because a king from Compton has the whole world checking receipts. Drake is admitting that he cannot outrun the legacy of that battle and choosing to stay home while Bad Bunny takes over the stadium reeks of pure desperation. While he was busy dodging the halftime show and avoiding the public eye, Drake was still finding new ways to lose money and look goofy on his own social media. On February 7th, he posted a screenshot showing a $1 million bet on the New England Patriots to beat the Seattle Seahawks. In typical Drake curse fashion, the Patriots caught a major loss on the field, and that turned his entire Super Bowl weekend into $1 million disaster. Everything he touches lately seems to turn to dust, whether it is a sports bet or his own reputation as a big game performer. You really have to contrast this embarrassing retreat with what Kendrick Lamar did on that same stage during the previous Super Bowl. Kendrick did not just perform, he owned the entire culture and proved that he is the one who actually controls the big stage now. Drake is sitting at home losing seven-figure bets on teams that cannot even move the ball while his rival is reaching the mountaintop. Watching a man who claimed to be the center of the universe turn down the Super Bowl is the ultimate sign that the OVO era is hitting a brick wall. This was his chance to show the world he was still that guy, but he let the fear of a Kendrick verse keep him on the sideline. Speaking of Kendrick owning the culture, we have to talk about the historic run he just had at the Grammys between February 1st and February 4th. Kendrick Lamar did not just show up to the ceremony, he made history and ended the greatest of all time debate for anyone paying attention. He walked away with Record of the Year and Best Rap Album for his project GNX, which puts his artistry in a category that very few humans will ever reach. With these new trophies on his shelf, Kendrick has officially passed Jay-Z to become the most awarded rapper in the history of the Grammy Awards. That is a level of prestige and industry respect that Drake hasn't come close to touching, no matter how many radio hits he tries to pump out. The fact that Not Like Us won Best Rap Song is the ultimate victory because it proves that track was never just a viral moment or a funny meme. It is a generational anthem that the music industry has now verified as the best work in the entire genre for the year. While Kendrick was standing on that stage accepting his flowers from peers he respects, Drake and Party Next Door were dealing with a very different reality. Their collaborative project, titled Some Sexy Songs For You, was completely shut out of the nominations. This is a massive signal that the industry is shifting away from the OVO formula. It is a bitter pill to swallow when your rival breaks records held by Jay-Z while your own music is treated like background noise. Fans are calling this the final victory in the feud because the massive streaming numbers and the critical trophies are finally aligning on the same side. Kendrick is sitting on the throne with the crown firmly attached to his head. Drake is starting to look more like a guest who stayed way too long at the party. You can tell the energy has shifted because even the casual fans are starting to realize that being popular is not the same thing as being the best. Kendrick showed the world that you can take your time, move with purpose, and still dominate the entire planet without having to beg for attention every single week. Drake is fighting for his life in the headlines while Kendrick lets the work speak for itself. The work is saying that there is a new king in town. Every single win Kendrick picks up feels like another nail in the coffin of the old regime. This situation puts another nail in the coffin for that tired narrative that Drake was ever untouchable in this game. Once you pass a legend like Hov in the record books, you stop being just another rapper and become a permanent fixture in the history of the art form. Drake still has his followers, but Kendrick holds the respect of the architects. That respect is the only currency that carries real weight in hip-hop, and Kendrick is cashing in while the world watches Drake ducking the Super Bowl stage. While Dot was busy sweeping the Grammys, the boy was hiding out, and that contrast reveals who is truly winning the war for the soul of the music. You can only hide from the truth for so long before the trophies and the statistics start speaking for themselves. Kendrick is moving into a legendary space where he only competes with the ghosts of the greats, but Drake is still struggling to handle a loss from a year ago. The lesson on how to handle success is being taught by the West Coast Coast king himself. The messy behavior coming out of the OVO camp looks more like a frantic plea for help than a professional album rollout because the timing of these leaks is shady. Unreleased snippets from Drake's 9th studio album, titled Iceman, surfaced on February 6th, which was the exact same day J. Cole released his final project. Even DJ academics had to admit these leaks felt like a calculated move to steal the spotlight from his peer during a major career milestone. It shows that the boy is getting desperate for any attention he can find, even if it means trying to sabotage someone he calls a friend. This messy strategy is a far cry from his dominant run, where he never needed to play these games to stay in the headlines. By February 10th, Mal from the New Rory and Mal podcast reported that none of those leaked tracks are actually appearing on the final version of the album. If those songs are not even on the project, the result was a distraction meant to steal some of the spotlight away from Cole on his big day. Rumors suggest the full album might drop on February 13th, but the rollout already looks like a disaster compared to the surgical precision of PG Lang. Kendrick stays low-key until it is time to win, while Drake is throwing unpolished snippets at the wall just to see what sticks. Watching a veteran in the game act like a thirsty newcomer who is terrified of being forgotten by the public is honestly embarrassing. While Drake plays these petty games, J. Cole is going viral for a track called What If that focuses on reconciling beefs and finding peace. That song makes the ongoing aggression from the OVO side look outdated and bitter, especially since the rest of the hip-hop world is ready to move on. Drake is currently stuck in a loop of trying to maintain his status through drama, while the people he used to compete with are actually evolving. The boy needs to focus on his music instead of the optics, and that's when you realize he is terrified of losing his spot at the top. This Iceman situation feels like a frantic attempt to regain control of a narrative that has already slipped through his fingers. While he is busy with his messy leaks, the PG Lang family is moving with a level of purpose and artistry that is on a completely different planet. On February 10th, Baby Keem officially announced his new album titled Ka Dollar Eno, and the biggest headline was the confirmation of another collaboration with Kendrick Lamar titled Good Flirts. Just a day later, on February 11th, the Boomin' 1 trailer dropped where Kendrick is seen discussing deep topics like family history and generational curses. That kind of substance is exactly why the culture is leaning so heavily toward Kendrick, because he is actually saying something that matters. He is keeping the pressure on Drake without even mentioning his name by simply being a better artist and a more focused creator. Watching Kendrick move into his next era of creativity is wild, while Drake is still stuck in the legal mud trying to sue his way out of a loss. Drake's legal team recently filed a pre-argument statement in the U.S. Court of Appeals because they are still trying to revive that lawsuit against UMG. This move feels like pure legal desperation, since he is fighting a battle in a courtroom that he already lost in the court of public opinion. He is essentially asking the government to help him fix his reputation because he could not do it with his own music. U.S. District Judge Vargas already gave him a massive reality check when she ruled that the specific lyric calling him a certified pedophile was legally protected opinion. That ruling was a huge blow to the OVO legal strategy, but they still seem determined to drag this out as long as possible. One artist is out here making meaningful art with his family, while the other is begging the court system to save him from a song the whole world is singing. It is a clear picture of two different career trajectories, where one man is moving toward legendary status and the other is fighting a losing battle against his own legacy. Drake is watching his own decline happen in real time, and while he is busy cutting checks to lawyers, Kendrick is in the lab with the next generation of talent. It is easy to see who actually has faith in their pen and who is just searching for a legal loophole to stay relevant. Trying to sue UMG because you failed to drop an effective response is easily the most embarrassing move a high-level rapper has ever made during a beef. Claiming an industry conspiracy is just a weak excuse for getting outplayed by a superior lyricist with a better plan. While Kendrick is digging deep into themes of family legacy and curses, Drake is in the archives hoping a judge can make people stop liking a song. This saltiness makes him look weaker with every filing. Kendrick has already started his next chapter with Baby Keem, but Drake is still stuck rereading a story that ended with one of the biggest losses in music history. All this legal noise is just proof that he has no musical solution for the damage that was done to his reputation last year. He can file all the statements he wants, but you cannot use a courtroom to sue the culture into giving you respect again. The gap between these two artists has never been wider than it is right now. The industry is moving past the drama, and you could see it clearly when those NBA All-Star rumors started hitting the timeline. People were actually guessing that Drake would show up for a massive comeback to reclaim his spot as the King of Toronto, but those rumors got shut down instantly. This is just more proof that the excitement for an OVO appearance sits at an all-time low right now. It used to be that the league and the media wouldn't dream of having a big event without checking in with his camp first. Now, they are moving forward without him, which is a tough reality for a guy who built his brand on being the most popular person in every room. When the rumors about you showing up are met with a shrug instead of a standing ovation, you know the tide has officially turned. If you look at the total scorecard for this week, it is actually embarrassing how much ground he has lost in just 1 year. He managed to lose $1 million on a Patriots bet while dodging the biggest stage of his life at the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, Kendrick is making history at the Grammys and breaking records that were previously held by legends like Jay-Z. The Compton legend is sitting there with his Record of the Year and Best Rap Album trophies, while Drake is sitting in a courtroom. The man is trying to explain why a judge should help him fight a song that the whole world loves. This level of embarrassment has never been seen from a top-tier artist in this genre before. Judge Vargas basically delivered the ultimate checkmate when she ruled that the certified pedophile lyric was a legally protected opinion. The court system has officially recognized that calling out his behavior is not defamation, so trying to appeal that just makes him look obsessed with the loss. While he focuses on that negativity, Kendrick is already looking toward the future with Baby Keem and dropping trailers for projects that dive into family history. Kendrick is giving the people something to think about, while Drake is just giving people reasons to laugh. The narrative has shifted from who won the beef to who is still relevant to the culture as a whole. That Super Bowl ducking was the final answer because it proved that Drake does not even feel comfortable in front of a stadium crowd anymore. He knows the energy has shifted and he can no longer control the room the way he used to. That fear is what kept him off that stage with Bad Bunny, and it is the same fear driving this messy rollout for his upcoming album. The stakes for Iceman have never been higher in his entire career because he needs a masterpiece just to stay in the conversation. If this new project is just another collection of mid-songs and petty subs, it might be the official end of his run as a dominant force. Dot is already the greatest by the numbers and the trophies, so he has nothing left to prove to anyone. The man can go and make experimental jazz albums for the rest of his life, and his legacy will remain secure after what he did this year. But Drake is in a position where he is fighting for his life every time he drops a snippet. The fact that he is allegedly trying to sabotage J. Cole just to get some traction shows how little confidence he has in his own material. You do not try to sabotage your friends unless you are terrified that your own work cannot stand on its own 2 feet. The OVO era was built on the idea that Drake was the inevitable winner, but that illusion has been completely shattered by a king from Compton. We are watching the slow decline of a pop star who thought he was bigger than the culture itself. The rapper thought he could sue his way out of a loss and buy back the fans, but hip-hop does not work that way. The fans respect the bars and the authenticity, and right now, Kendrick is the only one providing both of those things. The $1 million bet he lost on the Patriots is just a metaphor for his entire career because he keeps putting his money on the wrong side of history. He believed Kendrick wasn't. Drake thought the world would back the hitmaker, but he miscalculated the situation entirely and looked like a fool. Currently, he sits with a mountain of legal paperwork while his reputation takes a fresh beating every single morning. During the Super Bowl, he had an opportunity to face the music, yet he decided to stay hidden instead of showing his face. Making that choice reveals exactly where things stand in the industry right now because real ones do not hide. While Kendrick holds the high ground on the mountain, Drake is stuck in the valley searching for an exit that avoids another total loss. This past week confirmed that the crown has officially shifted and the history books have a brand new entry. History now shows that Kendrick Lamar is the most awarded rapper in the history of the Grammys and remains the undisputed champion of this culture. Drake has turned into nothing more than a man with a gambling habit and a high-priced legal team that fails to win him any victories. With the transition finished, the entire OVO era is now stuck in the rearview mirror for good. A new chapter is starting where substance actually counts for more than fake streaming numbers and industry games. Hip-hop is having a beautiful day, while anyone expecting a Drake comeback is living in a nightmare that simply will not happen. The boy had his run, but the king has returned to reclaim his spot, and he is not leaving anytime soon. Hardware and respect belong to Kendrick, while Drake struggles heroes to make it through the next news cycle without another headline dropping. That Super Bowl moment served as the final surrender, and everything else we hear from that camp is just background noise.